Third flaw in the system that helped me get a hand pay with free money, I'm about to tell you right now. This is what happened at the casino. So this was the old system, and every once in a while you would accumulate your points, and then you can morning. Today's video is gonna be a little different. I'm on my way to the casino right now, but before I get there, I'm gonna talk to you about 3 times I should have already been banned. 3 times the casino should have banned me because this happened at the casino. Last month, I almost got banned. Well, I kind of did get banned, but they didn't get me. I almost got actually arrested at a casino that shall be unnamed. You guys know which one though, if you up with the channel. I almost got arrested for filming. So I'm gonna try to not get arrested from here on out and to not get banned from any casino. So I'm gonna be playing, you know, fair and everything. But this is 3 times that something happened at the casino. Sometimes by their fault, sometimes I just made a situation kind of like happen. Well, I'll tell you right now. My first situation, I'll tell you right now. First situation is easy. I literally just found $100 on the floor, and that was cool. And it was just on the floor. It was a $100 bill. Right away, as soon as I saw it, I grabbed it and I took it, right? And the same kind of like, which you're not supposed to do. If you ever see money in a casino, you're supposed to let the security know, you know? But because they'll film everything, and then if you took anything, they'll find you and they'll get you for whatever you took, right? So, you know, that's kind of a rule. If you find money, let security know. But this time I found $100, and I came up that day. I literally, that was my come up for the day. Same kind of situation, but a little bit more sketchier. There was $50 in a roulette machine one time, and I had sat down. I didn't realize it. I was trying to put my money in, and there was $50 already loaded. I cashed it out and I left. You know, like that was pretty much as much as I wanted to win and as much as I wanted to lose. So yeah, this was a few years back. So that's the first situation. Let me tell you about the second. All right, I decided to go to the park and take a walk before I go to the casino real quick. And during that walk, I can tell you a little bit more in detail about all right, second situation when I should have been banned from the casino, but I actually got away with it. This one was a little bit more sketchy and a little bit more like, you'll see the situation. So I am walking along, and just like I found that $100 bill, I find a ticket. I'll get a ticket thing later and I'll show you what I mean. But if you go to the casino, you'll know, you know, the ticket, the Tito, ticket in, ticket out situation that has your money, right? So I found one on the floor, and it was for $75. Hello. So here's the situation. I take that money, take that ticket, and I'm playing machines, right? I'm playing machines, and it's working. It's working. And I could print it out or whatever. I go to cash out. There's a problem with the ticket at the machine, right? So I ask one of the slot attendants if she could help me cash it out. She says, okay, I'm gonna have to call a manager, right? And they take forever. They take a while. to like get to where I was. And then the manager now is dealing with me, not the person I asked for help. And then they start asking me questions. And so they're just like, kind of like, well, not like too many questions, but they're just kind of like investigating. And they're just kind of like talking to me now. They're not asking me questions about the ticket. They're just kind of like talking to me like, hi, you know, sir, this happened. And then, you know, I tell them what happened. So I tell them, I found the ticket on the floor. It was 75 bucks, and then I put it in the machine, and then I cashed it out, right? After playing it, I cashed out. I cashed out a little bit more. I think I cashed out like 80 or like, no. I think it was like, I made like 16 bucks with that. So they deducted, so it was like 90 something. And they deducted the initial $75 that were not mine, right? And they gave me the difference that I had won, which was the weirdest fucking thing, right? Because they should have just been like, here, you know, we'll take everything because it's not your money, right? But they were just like, they didn't know what to do with the extra money, you know, because what I'm thinking happened is that ticket was already cashed out, right? That ticket, let me do some push-ups. So that ticket was already cashed out by another slot attendant, right? So by the time they had dropped it, like by mistake, right? And so by the time that I'm using it, the money in the system's already cashed out. But it's still real money on the ticket, on the Tito. So I'm over here playing it. I'm playing the ticket. I'm using the money that doesn't really exist because it's been cashed out. And pretty much came to reasoning that for all of us that I made money where there was no money. Yeah, it was weird. It was really weird. So moving on from that one, because that one was a strange situation. But yeah, just to recap the whole thing, because you can tell I'm a little, you know, stoned exercising here. My head's kind of everywhere. Sorry if it's all, the story's kind of everywhere, and I'm having hella breathing hella heavy. Oh my goodness, can't even talk. Edit that out. Okay. Future slave, which is me, editor. Anyways, the ticket I found was already cashed out, but it was a ticket. It was still a ticket. It still had the value of $75 as far as the casino was concerned. So I was able to use that fake money to make 16 bucks at the end. So they didn't say anything. They didn't ask questions. They already knew who I was because I gave my card or whatever. And they just gave me the money. And then they took the 75 or whatever, which I was like, whatever, it's cool. That was not mine, but I just found it, you know, whatever. So yeah. Moving on from that one, the third situation, and this one is the coolest, guys. This situation, oh my goodness, let me restart this video because this I got a hand pay from this situation. So let me make a note to start this so I can, you know, use this to restart. I can use this to start the video. So the third flaw in the system that helped me get a hand pay with free money, I'm about to tell you right now. This is what happened at the casino. So this was the old system, and every once in a while you would accumulate your points, and then you can choose to redeem them all at once for free play, right? So the old system would let you go up to $500 worth of free play, which is like, if I'm not mistaken, like 500,000 points or something like that, right? I didn't have 500,000 points, but I pressed the button for 500, because who would not try to press that button, right? So I pressed the button for 500. No, first I was honest. I pressed the button for like 50 or whatever, or I had like $50 in free play or whatever. 5 or 50, I think I was early on, so it might have been 5 actually. So anyways, I was honest at first, but then there was a second try, and I did the 500, right? I said, what the fuck, whatever, let's try it. Let's see if it works. The scam worked. And not only did it work once, so for me it only worked once, so I only got 500 of free play, 505 or whatever. But a lady actually, and this is filmed, I was filming a 3-reel slot at the time, and the lady told me that she actually got the 500 twice. So she got a free $1,000 free play, right? Just because of hitting that button twice. It was definitely a glitch in the system, right? Because none of us had the points for 500, right? But it seemed like everybody at the casino at that time that was redeeming the points had 1,000 free play. So everybody got it until like 2 hours later. Then it kind of like died off, because like obviously the casino caught on and they stopped it. But yeah, like it happened to me. I only got 500. The lady got 1,000, and there was a bunch of commotion, and then it stopped. So I took that 500 and I went to play my favorite game, which is Super Times Pay, right? Video poker with 25, 50, and 100 lines. I did 25 quarters, which I always wanted to do. It was like 35, 50 a spin, and I fucking hit a hand pay. They dealt me four queens for a quad, and that times 25 was exactly like the minimum threshold for a hand pay. So that fucking happened. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was crazy, because I would play that machine for nickels forever, lose just like thousands and thousands and thousands, right? $7.50 a spin, like I do when I'm on a good mood and I show you guys or whatever. Sometimes I'm just playing like 25 line or whatever, but holy shit, man, like I could not believe it. Like, I could not believe that my luck. And the thing is that everybody was having that luck. That lady was having even more luck. She got 1,000, right? So it was a glitch that we all kind of shared during that time in that specific casino, which is my local casino. I will show you guys what happens there. And yeah, I was actually filming when that happened, and I don't know if I showed the flaw, but I definitely showed the lady that was telling me that she got 1,000 free play. And yeah, that was a good time. That was a real good time. Nothing like that has ever happened since. And now I don't even look up anything because I don't use a card. But yeah, that was some cool shit that happened right there. So that's 3 times. To summarize the whole shebang, the first one was finding just a $100 bill on the floor, and also finding $50 on a roulette machine, which I didn't play. I sat down to play with my $20, and then, came up. So that's the first kind of situation. Second is that ticket, that $75 ticket that I was able to use that fake money, that fake Tito, right? That had already been cashed out to make like $16. So you guys know how I do it. I go around kind of like micro bet and, just like try to get a little profit, which is what happened, which is, why they were just like stumbled, like, in the end, they took away the 75 that didn't exist, and they gave me the money I had made with that unrealized money. So the third one, like I just went through, was I showed up at the casino, did my card, points for play that day. There was 3 options or whatever. It was like 5 or 50, 500 or something like that. You could redeem for your free play or whatever. At first I did the $5 one, and then second I went for the $500, even though I didn't have the $500,000 in points or whatever. But the scam worked. And the craziest part is it happened for everybody. So that is the part that drives me crazy, to think like everybody that was there between that 2 hours or whatever. I think it's like the first 2 hours of when you're of the morning, like when you're able to get like your free play or whatever. No, but this happened early in the morning. So yeah, no, it was a thing that was timed, I think, for like 8 or 9 or something like that. But anyways, for 2 hours, like people were redeeming like $1,000 free play when they didn't have necessarily the points to do that. And it not only happened to me, but it happened to a lot of people around me. There was a lot of commotion, and it was confirmed that one lady, right? I have that one video where she comes up and tells me, it's actually 1,000, it's actually 1,000. And I go and I check again, but I realized I had already done it twice. And by then they probably had already fixed it or whatever. But yeah, anyways, the craziest part though is that I took that $500 free play and I took it to my favorite game and we had hand pay. Like a minimum hand pay, but still, I mean, like I play that game at Nickels like crazy. I've only hit one hand pay on Nickels on that machine, actually. And it was a long time ago, before it was upgraded to the new machines. So I doubt that it would happen again, but that's a crazy story for another day. Which I can tell you what happened, how I got the hand pay, what the hand is, and I'll tell you guys on another video the whole story. But I can tell you right now that it was crazy too. It was one of in my other channels, it was one of my most viewed videos, and it was sick. Basically, I was paying $75 a bet, 25 line, super times pay. The thing goes off for a 3x, right? The thing, and it goes off for a 3x, and I get 4 to the royal dealt. I'm playing 25 lines. It's only nickels, but here we go. I get 3 freaking royals. Like, I rarely get 1 royal, right? Get 3 freaking royals times 3. It ended up being, what was it, like 20 something thousand nickels or whatever, for exactly as much for a minimum hand pay, which I think is what I got again. So yeah, minimum hand pays and that machine, but it kicks back really good, which is why I play it for like short term, like hitting small wins that put us up and not sticking around, I think, is the way to go on that one. But even the new upgraded version plays out okay. But yeah, I doubt that a situation like that would happen to me again. Like, it's never happened again since. But yeah, now you guys know why I play Super Times Pay, that multi-line one, so much. It's like I've literally gotten 2 hand pays off that machine, and even though it's a new version, I still play it or whatever. And like, obviously the game looks the same, the machines look similar, but like, I know that they're different, right? Because I've been at the old dusty crusty machines where the buttons didn't work and the screen didn't work, right? And I played that kickback, which was great actually, and I felt the transition, right, into a different RTP, right? I want to say that because it'd just be crazy not to think that everything adjusts for inflation, and you know, smart people really never lose, right? So casino's never gonna lose. So anyways, yeah, those hand pays I got in the older version of the game, in like, was it like a couple years ago. Like, my luck hasn't been quite the same since with that machine, with that game. I've been playing, as you guys have seen, I've been playing more of the advantage lots. And what the deal is with those is, like, it takes money, right? It takes experimenting. It takes losing a few plays to feel them out, to test them out, to really get to that point where you're just like, oh, I'm sure I'm gonna come in here and, you know, within $20 land a bonus that is more than 20, you know, that's gonna get me a little bit more, even if it's $5 more or whatever, you know. It's gonna be positive on this end. As you can tell, that is changing a lot, right? As I am going to these different casinos and I'm checking what is paying, what is not. And of course, it's all luck, and you can get a shitty bonus 1 second and you can get a great bonus the next. But what I'm hoping is to capture the RTP in general for the whole casino, and then kind of compare. And you can see it in the bonuses. The thing is, you can see it in the frequency of the bonuses. You can see it in the size of the bonuses. And different machines will pay out differently, right? Like, they'll pay break-even bonuses or not even, right? But just like there are those machines, there are machines that you know you're gonna 100x the bonus, and at minimum bet like 80 cents or $1 or whatever, that's $100, that's $80, right? That is like worth anyone's time, because like, I'm not a learned doctor, even though I was starting off that way. I'm not a learned doctor, you know, like, I don't expect to make more than 80 or $100 in a 30 minutes span, you know, or an hour of my time, for example, the hour that it takes me to get there, do the play, and get out. Like, you know, like, that's a lot of money, everything kind of concerned, you know, like, for me anyways. Maybe you're hella smart and you're a trader and that's peanuts to you, but I'm just a simple human being with a simple job, right? You guys know my job. Nothing fancy, just useful. And, you know, anyways, $100 an hour is plenty for me, because you guys know, in the morning I hit it and at night I hit it, and more often than not we lose like $400, right? But, or 200 or whatever I'm trying to limit the loss for that day is, you know. But a lot of times we do get lucky, and I show that too. So thank you for watching and subscribing, and keeping up with the channel. And I hope that those 3 situations and scenarios that I mentioned before were kind of informative. If you ever do find like a significant amount of money at the casino, I do suggest you take it into, you know, security. Call security, stay there, tell security, or find a phone, give it to security, just for good karma's sake, you know, but doing the right thing. But mainly because everything is being filmed, right? Everything is being filmed. You can't get away with anything. 100% of their floor is covered by cameras, so it is better, I think, to just for the long term, for your freedom and my freedom, you know, to not have to deal with any legal issues if that situation ever arises. You know, of course, like, it was just $100 that I mentioned in the video or whatever, but I'm talking about like a significant amount of money, like somebody literally forgot a bag full of money, like, you know, I mean, you might be able to get away with it for a few days, but they have enough intelligence, let's just say artificial intelligence, to figure out how to get, you know, the information and your information. And, you know, so I like to wear the glasses, but like I said the other day, I found out like these glasses don't really block out fucking certain. I was able to do my iPhone, to open up my iPhone with them, so they don't really fucking work. So I gotta find a different brand or whatever. But yeah, I think it'd just be more beneficial if you ever find like a significant amount of money to just talk to the staff and turn it in, and avoid legal troubles, because that could end up with you getting banned, or, you know, like even arrested. And it wouldn't be like some bullshit like, you know, like they try to get me for. It'd be like some real, you know, some real trouble. So if you find big amount of money, like, turn it into the security. It's better to be safe than sorry. You want to be able to go back and get lucky, you know. A lot of luck, I think, comes when you least expect it. So you want to be able to frequent, you know, if you're not gambling anymore and you know, you're kind of self-excluding, then that's you know, that's a different talk. But if you're gonna frequent these places, check for RTP, check for good video poker, check for advantage. Like, it's just good to stay under the radar, to not, you know, get in trouble, to not, you know, break the rules, to learn what the rules are, learn where security's tight, you know. And you guys know I don't give a shit. Like, I'll go out there, show you guys which casinos are camera friendly, which are not. Almost get arrested but I don't mind doing that because I love it. I love being out there getting this. You know, I do lose a lot, and I always talk about that. I'm transparent about that, but I do gain a lot in footage and a lot in experience, and those plays cost money, so I'm able to see the different the different RTP and different casinos by learning the place, you know, paying for the place, playing for the bad place. You know, even the bad place pay off if you remember, if you don't forget. You know, don't play this certain number at this machine or whatever, you know. Don't think that this certain number is it, you know. That's happened to me many a time, especially with that piggy one that you build up with the wilds and the triple bonus. That one gets me fucked up, but also it gives away a lot. So if you hit that one good, I mean, in Yamava, I've gotten up to 75x bonus off a min bet, or 100x bonus off a min bet. But just like that, I've been screwed over here at the local for for a $4 run that cost me like $400, you know. Trying to chase something that was at $4 bet, I lost $400 doing it, you know. Like that happens, you know. So I really don't chase at high denominations just because I haven't been lucky or haven't found them profitable, right? And micro going around only cost me around like $200, you know, dollars or whatever. Try to find some bonus or some advantage, you know. So anyways, I've talked long enough. Thank you for, I can't even talk anymore. Thank you for listening to me talk on, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.